Now, how many times in our lives have we had somebody come into our offices or had somebody receive a chiropractic adjustment and then you never hear from them again and you think, gee, maybe I failed them? Who knows? Maybe they just had this incredible, unbelievable experience and that was their path at that time. And you know, in the course of our missions, I remember one day a doctor was walking down the street a couple of years later after a mission we had done in a certain town that we hadn't gone back to, and a woman grabbed him and started hugging and crying. And the doctor goes, what's the matter? She says, 2 years ago you came here, you gave me an adjustment, and I've never had asthma since then. Thank you so much. So chiropractic has the ability to alter the course of a human being's life for the better. And if there's someone who's watching these testimonials, hearing these stories, and is doubting for 1 second that that might happen for them too, let go and let God. And just go and get yourself adjusted and find out why on earth your body is so incredibly powerful. How incredibly powerful it is. You too.
That was really fun.
My name is Todd Herold, and I'm a chiropractor in White Plains, New York. And I think back to practice many years ago, and I ran an office in New York City called the Children's Chiropractic Office. And my office took care of children for free. We had over 15,000 kids come in as patients, and I know this because I took a photograph of every child, and I wallpapered the walls of all of my office, the hallways of every adjusting room, from top to bottom was nothing but photos of children. So that when people came in, if they had any doubt about whether or not kids might need an adjustment, they pretty soon figured out that that was not acceptable thought in my office. And it also was a real great conversation starter. People go, what are all of these pictures of all of these kids? And I would say, well, you know, I'm a busy father. No, I would say to them, these are all children that have received chiropractic adjustments. And one child in particular that I think of is a little boy named Anthony. Gu was his last name. Anthony was brought to me, he was about 3 years old, by his mom and his aunt, who were also ended up becoming patients. And he had asthma, but he had really bad asthma. Anthony was in the hospital at least once a week for the first 3 years of his life. And so they said to me, they said, can you help him? And I said, if God is willing and he has the power within him, he may be able to heal himself. And so I began to adjust Anthony. I told him they've got to bring him every single day, at least once a day. And they did. From the moment of his first chiropractic adjustment, Anthony never, ever went back to the hospital. Within 1 month, he had no more medication ever again. And within just a couple of months, he never again ever had an asthma attack. And I adjusted him for years and years after that. So I know for a fact that he did it. What would be the life of a child who has to struggle for every single breath? And yet, if somebody doesn't tell someone who knows an asthmatic child about chiropractic, that's their destiny. That's their burden to bear. Or children with ear infections. I mean, I remember this mother that brought in her child, the ear infections were so bad that green pus was oozing out of their ears. And we had on one of our missions a child like that too. One adjustment, no more pus. Child went into a high fever like it was supposed to burn out the bad guys from within, and healed itself through the grace of God and chiropractic. And then, of course, I remember I wrote an article once called Miracle in Harlem. I went to make a house call in Harlem on 127th Street. A woman asked me to please come to her home because she couldn't walk. So I went to her home. She was bedbound. I gave her an adjustment. I said, I'll be back tomorrow. I didn't have to go because she came to my office. Went from being stuck in her bed, not able to move, visited me in my office to thank me, and continued on as a patient. I remember No Cane Jane. Jane came in, she was told she needs double knee surgery. A lot of people would say, what the heck does chiropractic have to do with the knees? They told her that she had arthritis. It was so bad that there was no way that they could do anything but replace her knees. She said, doctor, I don't want to get any surgery. I said, Jane, every time I adjust you, I just want you to keep on saying over and over, as I'm adjusting you,